Ladies and gentlemen, Husker hockey fans, welcome in to the John Breslow Ice Center here on the great campus of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. My name is Matt Malloy, going to be your play-by-play announcer for the evening, joined here with my good Minnesotan friend Ethan McIntoon. Ethan, we are covering the women's team tonight. Last weekend, you and I were able to cover two great games for the D3 men's team. However, they are on the road, as well as the D2 team. They're off in Chicago playing some puck. But as for right now on the home ice, the Zamboni just got off. So in a few short moments, we'll see the puck drop between the Lumberjacks and the Huskers. The women from Dakota College came all the way down south here to Lincoln to play up. But how have the Huskers been playing recently?
Yeah, last weekend the Huskers were up in Eau Claire playing against UW Eau Claire, and not a great weekend for the Huskers. Dropped both games 4-0. Gonna look to get the scoring going again this weekend against Dakota College. Hope to get back in their winning ways as they've now lost a couple in a row. So just trying to turn around the program, and they're going to be able to do that with their players. You know, the McCord sisters, both of them starting tonight. They're going to need to look to get some pucks into the net and get the Huskers on the board as they've gone back-to-back shutouts.
Right, McCord leads the team in points. Her sister well up there as well. As far as Dakota College goes, though, they are also coming off of a loss against Jamestown. That one 2-1. Prior to that, though, earlier on in the season, they picked up a shootout win as well as an overtime win. So of their 4 wins, 2 of them have been very close. The other 2, they were able to pull away in quite some time. The Huskers have not won a game in 33 days. The last time they did that was all the way back on October the 19th. So they're trying to close out November here with a big win. Coming up real soon, we've got D2 Collegiate Women's Hockey on Nebraska News Service. Ladies and gentlemen, Husker hockey fans, welcome on in to the John Breslow Hockey Center here on the great campus of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. My name, Matt Malloy, going to be joined here with Ethan McIntoon. Starting off first with the starting lineup for the visiting Dakota College at Botany Lumberjacks. They were just announced a couple moments ago. That starting line going to be Theon Devenald, Hope Zerk, Randall Bonga, and Carly Durston. And then back in net, number 1, the goaltender, a sophomore from New Brunswick, Canada, Riley Richardson. On the other side of the ice, the Huskers. We're going to see the starting 6 for them. As always, you've got the junior defenseman, number 3, Meredith Fontana. Seen her start a lot of these games for the Huskers. Next to her, you've got the 2 sisters, Corinne and Camille McCord. One a freshman, the other a sophomore. Back on defense, number 23, Lexi Rager, and then Sarah Kraus, the German. Back in the net, number 50, Sully Daphnis. These teams have had 2 exciting seasons. The Huskers on a bit of a losing streak right now. They haven't picked up a win since October 19th. That's 33 days. On the other hand, Dakota College been kind of on and off. Still on a losing streak right now, though. That being only 1 game. The Lumberjacks immediately win the face-off and get it down in the offensive zone. The Huskers are quick to get back on defense, though. Puck comes loose, but Dakota comes away with it. See them back off. That's McCord getting in. Her sister right next to her. Bit of a 1v2 situation, blocked by Fontana, though. Doesn't even have to get down for it. The Jacks trying to get in another offensive position here. The Huskers in a bit of an awkward stance there on defense, though, not able to get the puck away, which means the Lumberjacks will get a new line out there. Right behind the net, trying to wrap around. That one put across to mid-ice. Stephanie Hogan takes the shot, a freshman forward. McCord now has it for the Huskers. Gonna pass it into no man's land, and the Lumberjacks come away with it. Now coming back to the middle of the ice, goes right over Daphnis' shoulder, and that's number 3, Kaleha Masson, coming all the way from Canada for that one. The sophomore defenseman makes this one 1-0.
Yeah, McCord just not a great pass there. Just threw it right to the middle of the zone where Masson was waiting, and she was able to make the play on the turnover, skate in and go top shelf, make it 1-0.
And Ethan, we might as well talk about it right now while we can, but a lot of these Lumberjacks are from Canada. The Huskers predominantly get their players from the state of Nebraska, usually from the city of Lincoln as well. So you've got a bit of a local team going up against one that's pretty much, you know, technically an international one. Now they do play pretty far up north as they'll rip off another shot, goes off of Daphnis' pads. The Huskers have yet to get the puck on the other side of the ice here. Meredith Radel comes in, a shot from mid-ice, not gonna go anywhere though, wide left. That one taken by Macy Wither. Now Dakota College still on the attack. The Huskers not able to get it away. It's been in the neutral ice for quite some time now, but that puck has rarely touched a Husker stick. I mean, when it does, it's usually just a pass off and to the neutral zone, and then Dakota College able to pick up on it. Now they've got it going the other way. Here comes Bongo, right down the middle of the ice, excuse me. She loses it, trying to get off anything she can. Daphnis deflects it back behind the net. Coming back around, another deflection. Plenty of shots raining in. That one was taken by Zirk.
2.5 minutes into this period, and the Huskers are looking for their first offensive zone possession.
We might have one right here, as Camille McCord will dump that one and then immediately get in on it. No new Huskers coming on. That one taken back around by the Lumberjacks. The Huskers come away with it though. A shot at mid-ice, not going to be able to take it off. That one deflected away again. The Huskers still trying to apply pressure. Fontana started skating back on defense though. Now she's back right near that blue line. Dakota College comes away with it. They're right on the far side board. They'll make another line switch. The Huskers haven't made many so far tonight. Here's Zirk again on the near side board now. Both McCords getting in near her. Fontana there as well, the captain. Ethan, another interesting thing about this team is we'll see if they can do anything here. They'll rip a shot off. Daphnis covers it up. That one was taken by Mortensen. And Ethan, something interesting about this team is that every single player is either a freshman or a sophomore. They've got no upperclassmen on this roster.
Yeah, they're pretty young, but they're still a pretty good team coming in at 4-2, and they're looking good in the first 4 minutes of this one.
They're a young team, most of them from Canada, now living in North Dakota, which, you know, I guess depends on who you talk to. But yeah, it's pretty much the same thing up there. Now the puck coming back around the other way. The Huskers not able to get off many shots so far. In fact, really the best opportunity they've had just came off of how great a pass it was by Fontana. She's not out there on the ice anymore. They made another line switch. Here comes on a breakaway though. She'll break back inside. That was Masson. She gets tripped up. And it looks like, I believe we've got a Husker heading to the penalty box. That's the first one we've seen tonight. Looks to be number 25, Meredith Radel. She has 12 penalty minutes so far in the year, so she'll add 2 more onto that.
Yeah, the second leader on this Husker team in points with 9, so that's going to be a tough loss for 2 minutes for the Huskers. They're going to need a penalty kill here to avoid going down 2-0 early.
Right. And it was the point leader for the Lumberjacks that took the penalty. Masson has 11.
Up to 12 after that first goal.
Yeah. You see back here near the Huskers net, Daphnis covers it up. We're going to have another breakaway here on this side of the ice. And time of possession isn't even close right now. The Lumberjacks have had control of the puck for pretty much the entire game so far. However, we're only roughly just over 4 minutes in.
Yeah, the Huskers have had about 1.5 offensive zone possession so far.
See the Lumberjacks come in with another shot. That one doesn't get any airtime. Still, though, Krapil coming in again. She'll hang back by the blue line this time as the puck gets away from Daphnis a little bit. They're trying to chop through the Husker defense. They almost do. That one deflected away again. Bouncing back near mid-ice. Coming in closer. That one taken away. Ricochets off of Daphnis, and then the puck is cleared. The Huskers so far doing their job on this penalty kill.
Some great play there from the Manitoban Devenald, getting the puck in front of the net, but couldn't quite find a goal for Dakota.
Now we'll see the puck come back to where we've seen it for most of the game so far. McCord gets rid of it again. And now the Jacks will make another switch. They've been doing that a whole lot more than the Huskers have.
Yeah, it looked like they dumped it all the way down and then went back to make a switch on the power play. You don't see that a whole lot.
Now we'll see another breakaway coming in clean. That one was Mortensen on it. They're not able to get anything, and the Huskers clear it again. It's the third time they've done so on this penalty. Meredith Radel waiting to get back into the game. She's got 30 seconds left in the box. The Huskers keeping it on this side of the ice more so than they have in the first 5 minutes altogether. Here's Addie Roosing for the Huskers, surrounded by Lumberjacks. And the rest of the Huskers are just kind of hanging back, waiting. Now on the near side board, coming in. Roosing has it, waits to pass it. Goes right at mid-ice, and the Jacks pick up on it, intercepted there, and now Masson has it. At her own blue line. Coming inside, chopping through. She'll rip off a shot. That one way too high, but it had a lot of power behind it. Now the Huskers quick to take back control of things. They've got to clear this one, though.
They're back at full strength.
Puck at the blue line. Goes up in the air. No worry there, though, as the Jacks get on control of it again. The Huskers make a line switch while the Lumberjacks have the puck at neutral ice. That could have been ugly. However, the Husker defense quick to take control of things. Here comes McCord coming in hot, loses control of the puck. Her sister will take a shot. That one not going to go, though. The Lumberjacks have it again. Pass it back into mid-ice. Radel just came out of the penalty box. Now she's keeping it in front of the blue line. Not able to do so any longer, though. This one, Devenald on a breakaway. Cutting through the defense. She'll rip off a shot. Almost hits Daphnis in the face. Instead, it'll hit her chest and then just deflect back down onto the ice. McCord has it. Cross ice all the way back over. That's Roosing, who's right in front of it. Or excuse me, Kraus, rather. Radel back with the puck. The Huskers have got to go here. 12.5 minutes left. They've only let up one so far. Here's Mortensen behind her own net. And Ethan, you can pick up that a couple of these Lumberjack skaters definitely have a couple more years on some of these Huskers. I mean, whether it's experience or just talent altogether, when they get in that offensive zone, things seem to go a lot smoother.
Yeah, the Huskers have really struggled to keep possession of the puck while Dakota College has made it look easy.
We'll see here another breakaway by Wither. She'll wrap around the net rather than passing right in front of it. Almost loses control of the puck. Now they're fighting for it. It comes free. A shot ripped off by Masson almost out of nowhere. Her back was turned to Suli Daphnis. She wraps around 180 for the goal. The Lumberjacks up 2-0, almost halfway through the first period.
Yeah, and that's a pivot shot in the middle of the ice that you don't see people make a whole lot. That takes a lot of experience, and Masson clearly has it as she pivots and absolutely ripped that on the wrister. That was a high-level shot from Masson and a great goal to get her up to double-digit goals now on the season with 10.
She's got 10 goals on the season and 13 points. She was the point leader heading into tonight's game, but now she has definitely solidified herself as one of the most offensive, aggressive players on this squad.
I didn't even get to start on the blue line, but the second line for Dakota College, you mentioned a lot of their shifts so far today. The second line's been the one that's standing out, scoring both the goals.
Right, they're a quick team. The Huskers have a couple more extra skaters on that bench, but it looks like that hasn't really mattered much for the Lumberjacks, who are using speed to their advantage. They'll dump the puck, get a quick line change in, and then, the line has been led by Masson, and then that first line, pretty much all freshmen except for one sophomore defenseman, Carpil. So they're a young team. They're not exactly all from the same area, but the chemistry is through the roof on this squad. And we'll see yet again, perhaps another breakaway. Devenold using the board to get the puck down low. The Huskers have got to clear this one. That one was really close. Enough Huskers in the area, though, to get rid of it, though.
What a centering pass by Devenold there.
She was able to infiltrate the offensive zone, and then another beautiful pass leads to a shot. That one not going to go in, though. Now the Huskers able to clear it again. The puck getting even closer to Richardson. Can the Huskers get a shot off? No. And there's a big hit on the backboard right behind the net. The crowd liked that one. Here's Radel, though. She keeps it in the zone for Nebraska. She's not going to use the board. Instead, she'll just wrap around. Going to go backhand. Down low to McCord. Almost a glove save by Richardson. Not able to fully grasp it, though. And now coming in again. It's Rusing, who was able to almost get a powerful shot. Nonetheless, though, clock stopped yet again.
Yeah, Maya Mortensen there on defense for Dakota College, working all the way back and stopping a great opportunity for Camille McCord on the breakaway, and then laying the hit afterwards. The Humboldt, Saskatchewan native Maya Mortensen making her impact defensively already for the Lumberjacks.
We'll see here, Dakota College been a very good first period team. However, they have had to close 2 games out after regulation. They won a game in a shootout, their second one of the season, over Minnesota Duluth. And that was a 5-4 win, and then they had an overtime win later on, too. That one just earlier on November the 14th against Jamestown. Nebraska hasn't really had too much experience here post-regulation. They have pretty much won most of their games in the first and second period and then just closed things out in the third. However, as of late, it's been a lot of this where they let their opponent get up early. Lumberjacks coming away from the face-off. We just reached the 10-minute mark here in the first period. Halfway through it, Fontana putting the puck on her stick, trying to use the board there to get it down past the blue line. She's not able to. There's still a fight for it, though, in the same area. Fontana comes away with it. The Lumberjacks try to clear it now. Here's Addie Rusing. A very short pass there to Mueller. Mueller, cross ice. That one given to Reginitter. Dakota College, though, still far back with it. Masson. Now she'll make a move. Not going to cut inside, though. Eventually she does. Gets another shot off. That one deflected away just in time. Rusing on the near side board. Trying to put it in the middle of the ice. Intercepted by Dakota College, and they will hang on to it. There's Caitlin Haight with it. Going to wrap it back around over to Devenold. Carly Durston as well. She was on that starting line. Looks to be as though we've got the same one out there. They'll make a 1 personnel change, though. Coming in hot is McCord. She breaks up that attack. Puck now back over to where we've seen it for most of this game. McCord fighting for it. Durston as well. Kept in front of the blue line. That one done by Mortensen. A great job there. Behind the net, Radel and McCord for the Huskers trying to get rid of this thing. And Ethan, it looks like the Huskers, while the puck has been down here for quite some time, they seem to be doing a better job of clearing things, at least for a little bit.
Keeping it out of the middle of the ice has been the key when the Lumberjacks have it in the offensive zone, and they've been doing a lot better job at that after the first couple of goals, but it just takes one.
Now we'll see Radel back on over. Behind the net, not going to stop. will give it off, or at least try to, before the puck comes right back to her. Gets in the air, doesn't go out. Now the puck is free in front of the blue line, but there's a swarm of Lumberjacks there to make sure McCord doesn't get a shot off. Time passing by, haven't had a stop in quite a while. And here's Mueller. She'll try and wrap it around the net. She is unsuccessful in doing so. Rusing trying to lay a hit. That one doesn't hit either. Puck right at mid-ice. And now we might see another breakaway here. What looks to be sort of a one-on-two situation leads to a very early shot. Daphnis easily deflects that one away to the near side board, and now they're fighting for it in the corner. Keeping it in front of the blue line. That's Bonga, and then Daphnis wraps it up.
Good job there from Daphnis to track that puck after Bonga shot it. Went off a Husker stick, and it was floating in the air. She was able to track it in just like a line drive to the shortstop in softball. Catches it with the body. Gets a stoppage, which is much needed after a long skating period for both teams.
This has been a pretty tame first period, other than the one penalty we saw earlier. But Ethan, you were just talking, you know, things have changed just a little bit. The Huskers able to clear something. Big collision there. Looks like we had two happen at the same time. Fontana lets a shot rip off, but almost like a center fielder. Richardson just kind of grabs that one like a fly ball.
Yeah, Addie Rusing laying the hit there right in front of us. She's been pretty good so far for the Huskers defensively on that penalty kill. Single-handedly killed 30 seconds for the Huskers by pressuring in the offensive zone, and then right there laying a big hit, and now she's in on the face-off for the Skurs. She's doing it all.
Right, and it's interesting that she's doing so well on these penalty kills because usually she's the one serving the time in the box. She leads the team with 26 so far this season. Dakota on the attack, a shot ripped off by Devenald, but Daphnis wraps it up.
She is definitely the most physical Husker out there so far, and she's really trying to let these Lumberjacks know this is Lincoln. They're coming down into her house. She's not going to give it away easy.
Right. You look at the penalty minute leader for the Lumberjacks. That's actually Masson with 12. So she actually now has more goals than penalty minutes. But heading into tonight's game, you know, had 11 points, 8 goals. Now she still is at 12 penalty minutes. Who knows, though? Many of those stats could change. A lot of hockey left to play. Puck almost kept in front of the blue line. The Lumberjacks going to have to clear out of there, though. Reginator tries to get rid of it. They're way back on the far side board near the Husker bench, and then it comes all the way on over to where the folks in the stands are sitting. McCord on top of it. A stick looks to be stuck in her jersey. It eventually comes loose. Bit of an awkward situation there. Puck hits the top of the glass. Now they're fighting for it. McCord comes away with it, lets a shot rip off. Looks like it hits a defender almost immediately, though. Fontana keeping it in front of the blue line, doing her job. She's going to skate on back to her bench along with Reginator. We've got 2 new Huskers on the ice. Stick goes flying, and so does a Lumberjack. The arm of the ref goes up as well, and it looks like we're going to have 5-on-4 hockey for the second time this period.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Camille McCord was thinking there as the Lumberjacks were working back across the ice. She was going the opposite direction, just threw her stick out in the legs of the Lumberjack skater, and that'll be a penalty every time.
She immediately hangs her head there. Let's take a look. She hasn't been, you know, too bad as far as penalty minutes go. Only 4 of them heading into tonight's game. She'll add on 2 to that tally. And now, as far as tallies go, the Lumberjacks trying to make it 3 for goals so far tonight. Here's Caitlin Haight, loses the puck behind the blue line. It's the first pressure we've seen out of Nebraska, and then a second one right there by Rusing. Dakota being forced to move out of this zone, and now the Huskers intercept the puck, dumping it down deep. Rusing gets it down back on the ice after it goes airborne from Mueller's stick. So far, Nebraska doing a great job on this penalty kill. A lot of time left on it, though. It's back near Daphnis again. Goes loose right by that Husker bench. Caitlin Haight with the puck. Behind the net, gonna wrap around. Daphnis stays on top of things, and so do the defenders in front of her. Radel has it now. She's trying to clear it. There's a lumberjack right in front of her. Not sure if it's covered up. It looks to be loose again, though. For a second, it was right on the post, right in front of the net. Daphnis with a great pad save. Caitlin Haight has it again for Dakota College. Another shot ripped off. That one gonna be a glove save this time by Daphnis.
Yeah, that was a perfect opportunity for Carly Durston for Dakota College, right in front of the net, open net, and just didn't get very much power behind it and left it slow enough so that Daphnis was able to slide over and make a really, really nice save to keep it out of the net and keep it at 2-0.
And Daphnis will just immediately cover up the puck again after that face-off. We've got 35 seconds left until Camille McCord can come back onto the ice from the penalty box. Dakota College hasn't committed a penalty so far in this period. Bit of a backhand try there from Dakota College. Not going to go, though. They've only got one skater hanging around near the blue line. Everybody else trying to keep it compact. That one hits Daphnis right in the face. Goes down on the ice, and she covers it up again.
A great opportunity in front there for another Manitoba native in Macy Wither, but she was not able to get it by Daphnis, who's really been standing up on this penalty kill as the Husker defense hasn't done a great job.
Puck goes loose again. Coming back inside, right in front of Daphnis. They'll rip off a shot, though, from the Lumberjacks. Macy Wither takes that one. Another high one, though. And then look at that. That's Denise Krapil laying out to keep it in front of the blue line. She's able to do it just one time, though. Not able to get it the second. She's got the puck again. The Huskers back to full strength. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Camille McCord will stay on the ice after serving a 2-minute sentence. Right in front of the net. They're going back behind. This one is Masson. Looking to get her third goal. No, she'll pass it on down. That one, a shot taken by Caitlin Haight, and the puck is still loose. Back on the board. The Huskers trying to apply some pressure as Dakota College makes a switch. They bring on Carly Durston. Looks like she won't get a look, though, on this possession. She'll come back in on defense, trying to swat this one away. The Huskers dump the puck. Still playing a little bit like they're on a penalty kill. They didn't want to charge up there and use all 5. And now still they've got 2 back on defense as this quickly becomes a 3-on-2 situation. Daphnis right there. Nice pass off onto the corner. That's Radel wrapping it around, trying to clear it. Oh. That's Devenald not able to keep it in front of the blue line. Mortensen is, though. The Huskers back with it. Radel, Rusing, and Mueller all just a couple feet from one another. The Huskers making a switch. They'll make another one. The Lumberjacks quickly swarm in on this attack. Looks like they've got a breakaway. No, the Huskers break it up as soon as it starts. Dakota College still with the puck, though. Relentless would be one word to describe how their offensive play has been so far in this game, Ethan.
Yeah, like you said, even though the Huskers aren't down a skater right now, it still feels like they're on the penalty kill with the amount of possession and pressure that Dakota College has provided in this first period. And another nice save there from Daphnis. Down on that last offensive possession for the Huskers, McKenna Mueller was flanking and she was open, but they just couldn't get the pass through to her. A missed opportunity for the Huskers, who haven't had very many in this game.
You see here, we just passed the 2-minute warning. That one right in front of Daphnis. Deflected away just in time. Goes behind the blue line. They're back at the neutral zone. They'll actually move it all the way back to their defensive zone at that. Coming back on the attack, though. Back in front of the blue. Trying to keep it in front, but seems like they can't. They'll clear out of the area. The Huskers trying to get this thing out of the middle of the ice. The 2 goals that have been scored so far, both by the same skater, number 3, Kaleha Masson for Dakota College. They have been right in front of the net, just like that one right there. Ripped away by Macy Wither. She's not able to convert on that opportunity, though.
And Daphnis is fighting for her life back there in the crease. Came into this game with a .915 save percentage, and she's been doing a good job so far. just trying to keep it alive for the Huskers.
Right. She allowed 8 goals last weekend against Wisconsin Eau Claire, so not a great weekend for her statistically and overall for the team. She's put 25 past her. That shot taken by McCord on the other end of the ice. Not going to go, though. Deflected away almost immediately. 45 seconds left. Now the Huskers are heating up. That's Kraus on the backboard with McCord right next to her. Her sister was looking to get a shot off. Now Radel keeps it in front of everybody, and Richardson will cover it up. I feel like we've only said Riley Richardson, almost 5 times maybe, not even that, so she hasn't seen a whole lot of action.
Yeah, right there was by far the best offensive possession from the Huskers all night long. Had a good couple opportunities there on that possession, but couldn't find the back of the net. They're going to need to capitalize with the way this game's looking so far.
Talk about capitalizing. Time draining out, and Dakota College might be able to do something, but no, that one cleared. The Huskers have 13 seconds left to do something, but they pretty much just passed that one away off to the other end. 8 seconds remain. The Lumberjacks might be able to rip off a shot. They do. It's way too high, though. And it looks like that'll be it for the first 20 minutes of play in this game. 2-0 right now for the Lumberjacks. The Huskers weren't able to do much there in the first period, Ethan.
Yeah, 24-7 on shots in that first period. And like you mentioned, with Daphnis giving up, 8 goals last weekend, but you can't really blame her with the amount of shots that were coming in, and we're seeing a similar thing again today as, 24 first period shots on pace for somewhere around 70. That would be a long night in the crease for Daphnis, and the Huskers are really going to have to figure out how to get the puck down into the offensive zone and really apply pressure to Dakota College, because if Dakota College is able to sit in the offensive zone of their own the whole time, the Huskers will not stand a chance in this one.
Yeah, looks like Daphnis has about 15 minutes to catch her breath there. We're going to do the same up here. You're watching Women's Collegiate Hockey on Nebraska News Service. Husker hockey fans, welcome back on in to the John Breslow Hockey Center here at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. If you're just joining us, my name is Matt Malloy, your play-by-play announcer for tonight's game. Joined here with my Minnesotan friend, Ethan McIntoon. And Ethan, I know you know a thing or two about Canadians since you live up a little farther north than I do from back in my home city of Chicago. I know we get a little bit of that, but you know, you probably get a lot more, and so far it's pretty much been this Canadian roster that has been able to dominate the Nebraskan one. The Dakota College Lumberjacks up 2-0 after one period of play.
Yeah, a couple of Manitobans on this Dakota College team. That's the province directly above Minnesota and North Dakota for the most part, so most of the Canadian knowledge I have is about Manitoba and the Winnipeg area, but it's been the woman from British Columbia, Kalia Misson, who's really stood out for the Dakota College Lumberjacks with both her goals so far, getting up to double-digit goals now on the season, 10 to be exact, and really 24 shots on goal in that first period. The Huskers are really going to have to get the puck out of the defensive zone and have long attacks in the offensive zone because they have really struggled in that first period to get any sort of long possessions going, and it's been all Dakota College, and it's looking like it's starting that way once again.
Right, the Huskers start off the period, they lose the face-off, but then quickly get a nice poke check on a bit of a breakaway. The ice looking really sleek right now after the Zamboni came out there, and during the break, I don't think there was anybody that needed those 15 minutes more than Sully Daphnis. She took on well over 20 shots coming in from the Jacks, and no doubt they're going to get a couple more in here in the second. She hasn't seen any action yet, though. Still only 32 seconds in from the start of the period, and we get our first whistle.
Yeah, and offsides there. A little bit of mistiming from the Jacks, and Devin Old couldn't get back behind the blue line in time as the puck crossed. So they'll get the second line out there with the star, Kalia Misson, in the face-off circle for the Jacks.
Nebraska eventually comes away with it. Rusing gonna go back around her own net. The Jacks trying to keep it in front, but no. The Huskers now on a bit of a breakaway. Trying to rip off a shot immediately as Mueller, Dakota College, all over that one. Broken up a little bit though. Nebraska still with the puck. Radel coming in. Right at her own blue line. She'll give it back on over to the other one. Puck came loose there. Really hasn't been too compact. I mean, that shot right there goes wide right. Bit of a hit behind the net. And now we might see something here. Misson, the point leader, the one who scored 2 goals so far, stops right in front of the net, off to the side just a little bit. Twisting and turning, trying to chop through this defense. She takes a big hit from Addie Rusing. Addie Rusing, the leader in penalty minutes for the Huskers, going to tag on a couple more there. And Dakota College now going to get yet another advantage as far as personnel goes.
Yeah, Rusing, the leader in penalty minutes, into the box there for the Huskers. They've gotten 2 penalty kills so far, but those were mainly led by Addie Rusing, who was really good on the penalty kill in both of them in the first period. We'll see what they can do without her here in the second period.
Right, we'll see how they're able to do. But more so, we're also looking at how Dakota College is going to be able to do. They might get a couple more shots off because Rusing is off the ice. Puck coming back around the ice. Richardson, really the first thing she's done so far this period. They didn't see a whole lot of action in the first. Handful of minutes into the period so far. The Huskers have been doing a pretty decent job on this penalty kill. They get it out of that defensive zone, back on over to the offensive one.
It feels like when the Huskers are on the penalty kill, they have better defense and they're more willing to get the puck out of their own zone than when it's 5-on-5.
Right, I mean, they've been used to that too a lot this season. A couple players have been in, some penalty troubles there. There was a nice shot by Dakota College, but it deflected right off at Daphnis. And now Dakota College getting in some sort of formation. Only 50 seconds left on this penalty. Coming Close on in. Mortensen gonna rip one off. Nice flat on the ice. Daphnis gives it back behind her net. Caitlin Haight gonna rip off a shot. That one looked like it hit a Husker right on the hand. And Daphnis will take that one as well, another stop.
Dakota College really struggling to get consistent shots on the power play compared to what they've been able to do in 5-on-5, and I think that has to do with the Huskers being able to dump the puck with no icing. They're a lot less concerned with the pace they're throwing it down there, and they're able to clear it very fast versus when it's 5-on-5, they don't really clear it with a lot of pace.
Immediately after the face-off, Dakota College rips one off. That goal, now a hat trick for Masson. The sophomore defenseman didn't even take her half of a game to score 3, so it's really been the same story as the first period, now carried on over into the second.
Yeah, number 3 with 3 goals now in this one. Kalia Masson absolutely standing out for the Lumberjacks as she has a hat trick like you mentioned, and right there just got in, shot it short side on the goalie Damfin, and another goal for the Lumberjacks. Huskers are going to need one soon to keep this thing close.
That is her 11th goal of the season. 14 total points. Came into the night with 11. We'll make another switch here, but Ethan, it's so interesting that came, you know, kind of towards the end of the penalty there, and the Huskers play their best when they're down a skater, which is really interesting to see. They did a nice job on the 3 penalty kills they've had so far, but then when they get back to full strength like they are right now, for some odd reason they still play like they're down a skater. They're, you know, dumping the puck, getting it out of their zone, just not a whole lot of offensive pressure.
Well, they try to get some there, but good play from Dakota College.
The Lumberjacks moving out of the neutral zone. And just a couple moments ago, well, there was not exactly sure what happened there.
Somebody blew a whistle, and this far side line judge made a signal I'm not quite familiar with, putting his hands behind his head, but either way, we're just going to have a 5-on-5 face-off here on the Pepsi Circle.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of waiting for something to say there. One guy blew a whistle, and then the other looked at him like, why'd you do that? So, nonetheless, we'll carry on. Something to take note of, Lexi Rager still on the bench. She took a puck to the hand off of a shot from a Lumberjack a couple possessions ago, actually the one right before that 3rd goal. And then now we'll finally get a whistle where we know why it was called. That going to be a penalty. Excuse me, I guess not.
An offside.
Yeah, I saw him throw up the hand at first. And a Lumberjack did get tripped up, but you're right, Ethan, just an offside this time. Is someone going to take the face off? So give it back. Well, I was waiting for another 2-minute advantage there, but the Huskers definitely could go without one. Puck coming all the way back into the defensive zone for Dakota. One Husker falls, and then Dakota quickly taking advantage of that. Right in front of Daphnis, they rip off a shot. That one not going to go for Masson.
Thought we were about to see number 4 right there.
I mean, it's coming in soon. I mean, if she was able to get 3 that quickly, just imagine what she can do with, what, you know, well over 30 minutes left. Fontana trying to get it deeper into the offensive zone, not able to do so, comes back. Lexi Rager back onto the ice. Looks like that, you know, bit of a hand bruise going away now. Dakota gonna go cross ice. That's Carly Durston staying on top of things. Rager right there behind her, fighting for it. Right in front of the net, they rip off a shot deflected off of Fontana. Daphnis didn't have to do anything there. She didn't have to do anything right there as well again. Dakota still looking aggressive though. We're under 15 minutes to go. A lot has happened so far in this second period. Dakota trying to make even more happen right now.
Yeah, that was a nice block from Fontana.
Mueller on a breakaway, nobody in front of her, and that was an interesting play. Number 16, Randall Bonga for Dakota, rather than getting up front on Mueller, instead went on over to the other side of the ice to play defense for a potential assist there for Mueller rather than a shot. Still, though, Dakota not able to get anything right there on that possession. The Huskers trying to make something of their own right now. Puck covered up by Richardson. Honestly, really only the second time she's had to do that so far this period.
Yeah, Riley Richardson has been so good back there for the Lumberjacks that, you know, defensively they're just taking away the passing lane and letting her go one-on-one, believing in her abilities to make the stop on Mueller, and she did just that.
See now, Dakota pretty much wins the face-off. Puck in no man's land, though. We're back at the neutral zone. Radel coming in hot on the far side board, trying to cut back inside. Puck is swatted away from her. Dakota still not able to clear the area, though. This one gonna wrap around. Masson has it right behind Daphnis. Still looking to get some backhand action. That one poked away. Coming in hot, Camille McCord.
Fanned on it.
Yeah, I mean, every time you think something's going to happen off of an attack, the defense swarms in, does a pretty nice job. That one hits Daphnis' pad. Bradel takes a big hit from Mortensen, who just took the shot. This puck gets airborne right at the blue line. Dakota still trying to be on the offensive here. They're going to make a line switch, though.
And that shot from Mortensen goes off the inside of Rager's leg, and then somehow Daphnis able to make the save. That was really impressive from Sully Daphnis of the Huskers.
Yeah, you could hear that one from up here. Mueller going to wrap it back around. Fontana keeping things in front of her. She's not able to do so for much longer, though. A one-on-one breakaway, and there's plenty more Lumberjacks in the area. Eventually that comes to a stop, though, as the puck gets behind them. Daphnis going to cover this one up.
Yeah, it was Carly Durston on the breakaway for the Jacks, and she also had Hope Zerk behind her, but just couldn't quite hook up the pass. And an opportunity for the Lumberjacks that goes by the wayside. Let's keep this game 3-0, I believe. The scoreboard still says 2, but I've seen 3 goals go in the back of the net.
And me too, and they've all been by the same player at that, so pretty interesting offensive presence from the Lumberjacks so far. They've got plenty of shots raining in. They've carried over what they were able to do in the first period on into the second, and we're almost halfway done through this one. So it's going to be interesting to see what the back half of the period looks like as Durston gets a shot right there. She created a breakaway on the last possession, and then on this one, it ends in a shot covered up by Daphnis from her.
Yeah, and another great opportunity there for Durston, the Dauphin, Manitoba native, right in front of the net. Had an opportunity on the breakaway and then one right there on the backhand, but it was Sally Daphnis closing the door.
I mean, I want to get specific here, Ethan. There are only 3 Americans on this team. 2 of them are from North Dakota, where this college is. The other one from Montana. And then you also have a Slavic on the roster as well, the sophomore forward Martina Verbrinska. So plenty of international players going on here. 2 very different teams. Still both are diverse, and not only where these guys are from, but how they play. Nebraska, puck behind the net. Radel's got it after the faceoff. Still trying to clear it, not able to. Bit of a backhand pass there by Stephanie Hogan, keeping it in the corner, right in front. That one cleared. We're gonna call it safe. Puck still in play, no whistle there. Cutting back to the middle of the ice. Seen the stick handling skills, as well as just the quickness from a couple of these Lumberjacks is unparalleled to some of these Huskers.
Yeah, definitely the stick handling all night long. just the difference in between the white jerseys and the black jerseys have really been the difference in this game as well.
And we noticed it early on, picked up on that right at the start of the game. And that looked to have been Zerk trying to get a shot off. The Huskers clear it again, though.
That one's going to be an icing.
Icing call. It'll bring it back on over to the other side of the ice. We've been on this side for quite some time during this period. And then on the first period, it was the other side of the ice. So plenty of shots coming in from the Lumberjacks. The Huskers still trying to find a couple there. Right down low, covered up again. We'll have another face-off. So Daphnis hanging around a 90% save percentage. That gonna go down right now, obviously. And then as far as Riley Richardson, she's got, looks to be a 93% save percentage. She's only allowed 7 goals so far this season, and that has stayed at 7 so far tonight.
Yeah, with the amount of shots that Daphnis has faced, her save percentage probably won't go down too much as she's made a lot of saves.
And now, right in front of the crease, that one was Durston who let a shot rip off. Daphnis goes laying down on the ice to save that one.
Durston's had 4 shots in the last 3 minutes of this game, and Daphnis has closed the door every time. She's looked really nice after giving up that 3rd goal, and really all game long it's just been a barrage of shots from the Lumberjacks.
That shot goes wide left, and then they get off another one. Daphnis able to cover it up again. And if it wasn't for Daphnis's quickness on some of these close range shots, this game could look very different. As you know, these 3 goals, they've all looked different while they may have been from that same skater being Masson. But however, I think a couple of them have been from a longer range than just right in front of the crease. That's where Daphnis works best. Rusing's got it for Nebraska now, but it's stolen right away by Dakota. Rusing's got it again. Right near Daphnis. She'll wrap this one back around. In front of the blue line still, hasn't left. Cutting inside, outside, and then a nice backhander. That one not gonna go though. Very close for Durston. And then that was also Zerk that got in on that action there. The bench wanted to see a goal out of one of them.
Yeah, wide open net there for Zerk right in front and couldn't find it.
That shot, again, that's Rager who has now taken 2 shots very close. One hit her in the hand. We saw her leave the ice. This one, she looks to be all right, though.
All the defensemen for the Huskers have really been putting in the work to keep this puck out of the net.
Daphnis laying down again. You're not gonna, you'll see her do that a couple more times, not only this period, but the rest of the game. She is taking a deep breath right now. I believe that's Radel checking in on her, making sure she's all right. She's taken a barrage of shots, though, not only in the first period, but this one as well.
Yeah, crazy amount of shots right now on Daphnis. She's fighting for everything to keep these pucks out of the net. It's going to be a long night if it stays this way.
Back down here, still on this side of the ice. Antonia Stevens for the Huskers. Shot ripped off, covered up again by Daphnis. It's just a rinse and repeat here, Ethan. The same thing continuing to happen. Richardson hasn't really seen anything on the other side. I don't believe our camera has moved in a couple of minutes here.
Yeah, our beloved cameraman just locked in here on the Dakota attacking zone.
Shout out to Colton Alder just hanging in there. I mean, he's got to wait, though. You never know. The Huskers might be able to break out of this cycle we've got going on right now where a face-off happens because of some sort of stoppage, most usually because of a shot from the Lumberjacks, and then it just leads to another shot, a shot after that, potentially some sort of whistle or call being made other than, just a shot being covered up. So the Huskers still trying to clear it out of this zone. Radel gets it back on down. Dakota right on top of that one. Finally leaves the area. Goes past the blue line, but the Huskers touch it right as it crosses. the Lumberjacks still on top of things. I mean, 4 of these 5 skaters were ready to skate back and get down on defense. One of them said, no thank you. Big shot, almost hit Daphnis' helmet. Instead it hits the backboard. Now we're on the far side here. Krapil rips one off, another stop and play.
Another glove save from Daphnis. She's getting her workout in back there. Just like the warm-up drill where, you know, everybody on your team's just shooting the puck at you, try to save as many as possible. It's what it's got to feel like right now for Daphnis with the volume that she has seen in the first 13 minutes of this game.
Right, and obviously, you know, don't get ahead of yourself, but hey, she's got another game to play tomorrow, as these 2 teams, no matter the outcome of this one, will play. Puck drop is 3 o'clock tomorrow here back in the John Breslow Hockey Center. Nebraska News Service has your coverage for that one as well if you want to see these guys go at it again. But nonetheless, we're at 3-0 right now, nearing the final minutes of the second period.
Bailey Arnold's gotten into one game so far for the Huskers, the other goalie they got, but she gave up 7 goals in that one game against Iowa State. So we'll see how trusting Nate Henke is in his backup.
Yeah. Still, I mean, if Daphnis, it's almost like having a pitching rotation, right? I mean, they're going to be on a short notice. This game will wrap up late tonight, and then they play tomorrow afternoon. So we'll see if Arnold gets the start, or we'll see if Daphnis is ready to go again. She is going to have to take on a shot again right now. Missone, that one way too high and far to the right. A stick is still on the ice. Not sure who dropped that one. Eventually, they clear it out of the way.
Brilliant work there from Missone to get open and get that shot. She deked about 4 different Husker defenders to get to the center of the ice, but then just put it up too high.
There's Addie Rusing on a bit of a breakaway. Trying to cut it back inside. A nice poke check to the board. Mueller in there trying to stop it as well. Radel charges in, but nothing is stopping these Lumberjacks. They're laying out right now. A shot ripped off. Daphnis with a save, not going to cover that one up. The puck still in play. Here comes McCord. This one, Corinne. Shot, pass down over to the other side. McCord, her sister, Camille, rips a shot off, a glove save. Almost easy work for Richardson.
Yeah, you got to make sure not to fall asleep back there. If you're Riley Richardson, I mean, she hadn't seen any action in about 10 minutes of game time, it felt like. And then they got a couple of shots right there. McCord breaking loose, had Sarah Krause to her right, but just couldn't quite connect on the pass, and a tough opportunity for the Huskers when they had a real chance to score.
The Huskers not able to win this face-off. They've struggled in that regard as well, as far as just overall shots go. Now they're going to have to try to get it back down over to the zone we were just in. But as for most of not only this period but the game, the puck has been around Daphnis' crease a lot of the time. There's Mortensen fighting for it. McCord's got it. Makes a quick look to see who she's got as far as help goes on this attack. I think Richardson thought she had covered that one up, but she actually didn't. And I think the net is out of place here. They're not going to stop. We're just going to carry on, I guess.
I'll just throw it back on there. It'll be fine.
I mean, it was a good, maybe not a foot off, but hey, the net's got to be on the crease. Got to be lined up and everything. It looks to be okay right now. Maybe they'll take a look at it at the next whistle. Excuse me. The Huskers, though, still on the attack. Dakota College with the interception. They're going to go back the other way, cutting in through the neutral zone. Nebraska quick to get back on defense.
I'm not sure how stable that connection down there on that net is, as he didn't really put it back into the peg. Just looked like he slid it back across.
And I mean, it's kind of surprising that net is the one that moved, as the other one has seen a whole lot more action this period. Fontana trying to clear things. McCord, Dakota just on top of things they have been for this entire period.
Well, Daphnis has done a good job of keeping it out of the net in this second period.
Right. She let 2 go past her in the first, and now only 1 so far in the second. 3:30 remaining, though. Fontana gonna wrap it back around her own net. Both McCords are right there to try to get the puck as well. Eventually Camille does. Uses the board to her advantage. Right on the Union Bank and Trust sign. Back down on the other zone. Somebody's screaming. Not sure why. I think there's something going on with this line change, as it looks to have been Cameron Rudniski was on a bit of a breakaway. The Huskers got there in time to break it up. A shot right in front of Daphne, so it's covered up.
Approaching 50 shots now on Daphnis. She's fighting for her life in that crease, but she's done a really, really nice job in this second period keeping it out. And, you know, if Daphnis hadn't played so good, this game could have been real ugly. And I don't know how well this bodes for tomorrow's matchup for the Huskers, as it looks like they're doing their best just to keep it within 3 right now.
She is just hanging in there while she can. You know, somebody took a puck to the face. They're looking to be okay, though. The Huskers have it. No. I was going to say they had it in the nick of time there to not get an offside. It's called on them. Instead, the line judge says, no, thank you.
Yeah, this is tough right now for the Huskers, as, you know, they've been thoroughly outskated all night long. And the fact they're only down 3-0 is kind of a good thing, but, you know, not what you want to hear if you're a Husker fan trailing 3-0.
Immediately after that face-off at the Pepsi logo, Richardson covers that one up, and now it's been one of only a few face-offs down on this side of the ice in this offensive zone for the Huskers. Puck back in play. Stevens gets it off. Richardson tries to cover it up. One of her defenders actually comes in to save her. She was being boxed out from reaching that puck, Ethan.
Yeah, it was Addie Rusing, the freshman for the Huskers, down there. She put the shot on originally and then was boxing the goalie out, and had an opportunity if she turned around and got her stick on the puck to potentially break the 0 for the Huskers, but couldn't quite find that puck in a good defensive play there from the Lumberjacks to clear that puck out of the crease.
Puck back behind the net now. The Huskers have kept it in this zone for what's been a couple of stoppages in play. We're at the 2-minute warning for this period. Makes you wonder what Dakota College has cooked up. They might just have to keep doing what they've been doing, though, this whole period. Corpeal gonna give it back on over to Haight. And just cutting through defenders. That was Durston. Dakota College quick to make a line change while the puck is pretty much right in the area where they were opening and closing that door on the bench, and that means we'll get a stop right now.
I think that one might have went in the door instead of going over like you usually see. Dakota College using the doors to switch in and out, and when the door was open by one of their backup tendies there, I think the puck slipped in.
I mean, I didn't want to say it, but that's kind of that's something you don't really see, right? I mean, a line switch right in front of the door, but hey, Dakota College trying to make their rounds and everything. They've got a solid bench for traveling this far. Everybody looks to be rested and everything. You know, it's really just been this Husker defense that has been chipped away at.
It's been a 2-line night for the Lumberjacks, and it's worked really well, especially their second line with Masson.
When that line is in, shots are raining in, but the second one has looked really good too. The Huskers still trying to find some sort of offensive identity. They might be able to right now on this break, but that one is just swatted away there by the Lumberjacks. Masson takes a big shot, almost got the post, might have just nicked it, but it went wide right. Nonetheless, coming in here is Kraus. Just clears it a little bit. The ref's, he's got the arm up, so we'll bring it back down to where we just were. 46 seconds remain.
You know, if the Huskers can get out of this last 40 seconds, only down 3-0, it's still going to be a tough answer with the way this game has gone, but it's by no means out of reach at 3-0.
No, yeah, I mean, they say 2-0 is the most dangerous lead to have, and I mean, 3-0, you're still in it. You're still in the fight there. They still have just over 20 minutes left to play here.
And with how thoroughly they've been outskated in this one, to stay within 3 is pretty good for the Huskers. They can find something to switch up. You know, you never know what could happen in the third period.
I mean, Masson alone could have even a couple more goals on her hand. She's got a hat trick right now, all 3 goals for the Jacks. So instead, if the Huskers are able to close things out here comfortably, then they'll just head into the locker room down 3.
Feels like in this kind of back 5 minutes of the second period here, the Huskers have had a lot more possessions down on the offensive end and kept it out of their own zone and kept Daphnis.
So now we finally see a skater besides Masson to score there. That one was put in by number 21, Carly Durston. She's on the first line, the one that Masson is not on. So we've seen players from both lines score here for the Lumberjacks. And Ethan, I guess it's a bit of the announcer's curse. We just put him on there. I mean, they hadn't scored for a while. The Huskers had done a good job clearing the puck out of their own defensive zone. But then, of course, with 2 seconds left in the period, this one goes to 4-0.
Yeah, I was just saying how good of a job they've been keeping the puck and keeping Daphnis out of trouble, and then immediately turn over in their own zone and put Daphnis in immediate danger. She's not able to make the save there, as real tough period there for the Huskers. Looked a lot like the first period with dominance, and also on the scoreboard as 2 goals in the first, 2 goals in the second, 4-0 lead now for the Lumberjacks. It's going to be a tough hole for the Huskers to dig themselves out of, and it starts with them getting the puck into the offensive zone and actually creating offensive opportunities. They've had very, very little. A couple where Richardson has thought she had the puck covered and then didn't. A couple times where the puck's been loose in the crease, but other than that, it's been very far and few between for the Huskers, and they're going to need to figure it out soon.
Dakota College up 4-0 over the Nebraska Cornhuskers here at the John Breslow Hockey Center. It's Matt Malloy and Ethan McIntoon. We've got 20 minutes left to play and roughly 14 minutes. Don't go anywhere. You're watching women's collegiate hockey on Nebraska News Service. Husker hockey fans, welcome back on in to the John Breslow Hockey Center. If you're just joining us for the first time, the Dakota College Bottineau Lumberjacks, they're 4-2 heading into tonight's game, and right now they're up 4-0 over the 3-5 Nebraska Cornhuskers. Ethan, we mentioned it towards the end of the second period, but the Huskers didn't look too bad towards the end of that period, other than obviously letting that goal slip past them with only 3 seconds left on the clock. But offensively, what can they do here to at least just get on the board?
Well, I mean, you just got to get pucks to the net. You got to get long offensive possessions. Getting outshot 48-11 after those first 2 periods, that's just never going to be a successful way to win hockey games at any level. Just putting Daphnis under so much pressure back there, and eventually she's going to break, as we saw right at the end of that second period. A defensive zone turnover gives up a goal and really cost the Huskers what was otherwise not a bad period, where they were only getting outscored 1-0. Then you lose that period 2-0, down 4-0 now on the score, and it just feels pretty much gone at this point, as you're going to need 4 goals here in the third period. And when you've had only 11 shots to this point, it doesn't feel like you're going to have that many opportunities to get 4 goals. So it's going to be a long and hard-fought period from the Huskers. You just got to be able to control the puck. You can't let Dakota College have all that possession like they did in the first 2 periods, where they're getting about 15 minutes of the period in your zone, just absolutely destroying you. You have to be able to figure that out, and you got to be able to slow down Kalia Masson, who has had the hat trick so far. Try to slow her down, and then try to get your scorers going. The McCord sisters, McKenna Mueller, one of them just has to step up and light a fire under this Husker bench, get them going, and hopefully they'll be able to figure it out here in the final period.
Right, for almost 40 total minutes, Masson was the only one who had scored a goal in this game, and then Carly Durston changed things with 3 seconds left in the period. She got one right past Daphnis. We've said her name about more than any other player so far tonight, Ethan, but Sully Daphnis has taken on almost 50 shots so far tonight. What can we expect out of her? I mean, how much can one goalie take in a game of hockey?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough for Daphnis. She's sitting right around her average save percentage, just about 90%, but you know, when you give up 50 shots, 60 shots a game, you're just never going to win any hockey games like that, and that's what the Huskers are finding out. Is they've lost a couple in a row now, 4 in a row heading into this one, and it's looking like another tough night for the Huskers.
Right, that might actually be something good about her stats, is that she takes on so many shots that her save percentage overall isn't that bad compared to some other goalies. So, yeah, on the other side, though, Richardson only taken on 11 shots so far. I mean, she really hasn't even played a full game yet. She's only seen a couple minutes of action out of the full 40 that have been played so far. Still in the first one of this period so far. The Huskers trying to get it out of their own zone. It's been the story of the game so far tonight, is Nebraska trying to get that puck as far away from Daphnis as possible. That shot taken by Zerk, a little soft backhand wraparound behind the net. Not going to go, though. Rusing fighting hard for it on the near side board. Gets tripped up a little. McCord keeps it in front of the blue line, but then Dakota College tries to get rid of it. Touches Krause's stick there. And comes free. Puck free again. Dakota still has it, though. And then it just comes back on down to the other end. Daphnis going to cover that one up. I think I've said that phrase about, out of the 50 shots she's taken, well, she's covered up, you know what? Well, a lot of them. We'll say a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a lot more near the last half of that last period, and now to start out the third, the Husker skaters are getting tired out there, spending so much time in the defensive zone, and now Daphnis just trying to give them as many breaks as possible.
We're back in action here. In the corner. Nobody's really fighting for it, though. Dakota shot right down the middle of that one, taken by Macy Wither. Goes wide left, though. The Huskers trying to keep this thing out of the middle of the ice. Masson takes a nice shot there, hits Daphnis's pad. Still another wraparound. They're keeping it in this zone. The Huskers, though, trying to build some momentum and get it out of there. They're unsuccessful in doing so. Mortensen was back on defense just in case. She's still hanging out behind the blue line, pretty much expecting the Huskers to get it back there, and eventually they do. This is Mueller gonna dump the puck. We'll get one change here for the Huskers, and then nothing really too big here for Dakota. Puck comes flying in. This is Antonia Stevens who picks it up. Radel tries to get it deep into the offensive zone. Instead, it's deflected away and stayed in the neutral side. Hanging around their own blue line. That's Stevens again. Gets it back over to the other blue line. Deflected way up in the air. Hits the glass. Caitlin Haight. Devin Olds out there. We've got Thurston as well. Couple different names right in front of the net. McCord rips off a shot. Goes too much to the left, though.
Both the McCord sisters had an opportunity there. One of the better offensive opportunities from the Huskers, and they're back in the zone.
On the far side board, puck wrapping around. This one going to go all the way to the near side. Back over to the middle of the ice. Kraus has got it. Nebraska still making a change. Fontana hanging way out back there behind the blue line. Stevens will leave the ice as well. Right in front of the net again. And Ethan, you know, just got to say, I don't particularly get it. You know, they're getting looks in the middle of the ice, but the fact that a couple Huskers are just hanging out way too far back. Some of them are behind the blue line, even though they have had some offensive opportunities right now at the start of this period.
Yeah, I don't really understand what was going on there. It looked like the Huskers never practiced offensive zone hockey with what was going on in that offensive zone there, as they just had, like you said, the two defensemen way outside into the neutral zone, and then the forwards that weren't really looking to take a shot.
You know, I understand obviously playing back in times of stress, but when you're down like this, you know, you got to go all five inside the line and try to get something going. Perhaps they're trying to spread things out, though. Dakota College doing the opposite of that. They like to keep the puck compact right in the middle of the ice. That's where they've been able to get most of their goals so far. The Huskers now back to trying to clear it. Shot taken. Daphnis just going to grab it.
I mean, the possession numbers so far in this third period have got to be the best they've been between the first two periods, but still, even with the puck possession for the Huskers, they're just not able to do anything dangerous with it. And then Dakota College gets it down here, and they're immediately applying pressure to Daphnis.
Now it's back. Dakota wins the face-off. Not able to get a shot off right away, though. Here's Nebraska trying to clear it here. And we've seen them do this a couple times where they've got the puck way back near their own net, and they try to go with one big pass to clear it. I mean, even an icing call like that, just try to stop whatever attack is coming, and then Dakota College doing a really nice job of stopping things. They won't make a line switch. They will switch out one skater, though. Durston back on the ice had the goal to close out the second period. Now we're just over 5 minutes into the third. Haven't had a stop in quite a while. This puck comes loose. Falling to the ground. Now back behind the net. The Huskers might have something here. They're going to dump it, wrap it back around the net, and it'll be up to what looks like Meredith Radel to fight for it. She's got 3 Lumberjacks right behind her, though. Right in front of the net. Camille McCord rips a shot off. Deflected off of the pad of Richardson.
I thought that hit the back of the net.
Yeah, me too. I thought it, you know, definitely deflected off of something. We saw some sort of the net move, but no, that one not going to be a good goal. Huskers still at 0 on the board there. But Ethan, that just goes to show, I mean, they're able to get some shots when everybody gets in on it. And that was definitely a play where, you know, they had a good kind of infiltration of the offensive zone, which led to a nice pass to the middle of the ice, and then that led to an overall a good shot. Dakota's been able to do that obviously a lot so far, and Nebraska just trying to reflect that and mirror it.
I mean, yeah, I know we are not going to have any replay reviews today, but if there was, I would have liked to take a look at that one, as it looked like it bounced off the back of the net to me. But the ref down on the ice saw otherwise. He's probably got a much better angle than me if we're being honest. So we're going to keep playing.
That puck goes flying. It's been a while since we've had a stop. So a whole lot of line switches. Everybody kind of out of order. Radel on defense for this one. Masson, not only can she score well on her own, but she can do a great job of just that. What we saw, getting a nice pass into the middle of the ice. That wasn't picked up by any of her teammates, but still zipped it right into the middle. It would have been good if somebody was in the right place at the right time. Huskers still trying to get rid of this thing.
Yeah, I mean, the Lumberjacks are able to keep pressure on them with only 4 skaters in there as they're just switching out one at a time and keeping fresh legs. Well, the Huskers are getting exhausted, and the Lumberjacks are still keeping pressure on them.
Might have something here for the Huskers. No. Swatted away immediately. Bonga gets a hold of that one.
Great opportunity there from Shelby Stevens, but just couldn't quite keep the puck on her stick.
Now going back the other way. A ref has got his arm up right now. Down near the line. We're going to play on, though.
Yeah, it was going to be offsides if Krepley went ahead and touched the puck, so she had to skate all the way back and tag up.
Yeah. And we see in front of the blue line again, but that attack stopped. Mortensen on a breakaway. Tries to get it on over to Devenald. Daphnis was ready for that, though. No shot taken on her, though. And once again, it's been a while since that whistle's been blown, which, you know, I mean, Ethan, would you say that's a good thing or a bad thing for Nebraska right now if they want to get some momentum going?
Well, for Nebraska, it's probably a bad thing because that just means the clock continues to tick and they're running out of time. But honestly, with the way this game's gone, they might want that and just move on to the game tomorrow, try to focus on that and see if they can't change something up. For the Huskers, Meredith Fontana, the defenseman, has really been, you know, one of the only good highlights for the Huskers so far tonight. She's been making plays all over the place, breaking up passes, making blocks, and really doing her best to slow down this Dakota College offense. But when you have more than 50 shots, it's tough.
We finally get a stop and play after a while. 11 minutes and 1 second remain on the clock. Now the Huskers might add something. Bit of a breakaway. She's got help too if she needs it. That was Mueller, but no shot taken. I don't know if she lost control of the puck or she just didn't like the angle she had, but nothing comes out of that one. And then Macy Withers right there to get it going the other way for Dakota.
Another one.
Another one for the Huskers here. Same skater of Mueller. Rips off a shot. Richardson with a nice save, though.
One of the first times Richardson's been tested so far today. Had a earlier breakaway as well for the Huskers, but another save there from Richardson. Mueller back-to-back breakaways. First time didn't even get a shot off. Second time, good save from Richardson. She had numbers on that first one. Would have liked to see her try to drop that back with some of her numbers, but either way, it's been a tough night for the Huskers.
Dakota wins the face-off. The Huskers still trying to get a hold of it, too. Eventually they will. Radel rips off a shot from way back at the blue line. That one got close, didn't go in, though. Now it's back to mid-ice after a small fight for it on the backboard. Just reached the 10-minute mark. 10 minutes in and 10 minutes to go in the final period of play. If it stands right now, Dakota College will come away with a win. The last time they won consecutive games was all the way back at the start of the season. They just lost their last one, though, so this would put them back in the win column. But it would extend Nebraska's losing streak a little further. So that's what the Huskers are trying to do right now. Just fight any way possible. That's what Daphnis is doing right now. She's got her stick all the way in the air, and her job isn't done yet.
Ridiculous work there from Daphnis.
It's getting to almost an unbelievable point right now. I mean, taking on how many shots tonight? You know, well over 50, and they just keep coming in. She has really saved this game from getting way out of hand.
Yeah, Sully Daphnis just fighting back there for the Huskers, giving everything she can to keep this game as close as possible, and really her skaters have not been helping her out.
mean, Ethan, we've seen some ugly scores so far this season, whether it's, the D2 division, D3, men's, women's, whatever it is. I know, we'll throw them under the bus, I guess. The boys up north, Creighton, lost a game 25-0, I believe. It was around there, and so scores can get ugly, and that's because if you have a goalie that isn't experienced, or just kind of lets them go by, isn't trying to save the game from getting out of hand, then things can look ugly really quick. And while Daphnis has let 4 goals go in, and she has had some games worse than that in the past, I mean, the 2 games last weekend to, up in Wisconsin, she lost both of those 4-0. That's another save right there where I feel like, it goes to show she is still staying in the fight, even if some of these Husker skaters have not been able to cook up anything on offense.
Yeah, another ridiculous save there from Daphnis, where we've seen a couple of times she's all the way down in the butterfly, legs completely spread out, and then throws the glove out there too, just flashing leather, looking like prime Marc-Andre Fleury in the crease.
And I think something that makes it even a little more unbelievable is that she stands at only 4'11". So, if you were a goalie with maybe a bigger frame, a bit taller, you could cover up some of those blind spots. It might be a little better, but we just saw somebody take a hard fall. That's number 10, Macy Wither. The back of her head hit the ice. And the penalty minute leader for the Huskers, Addie Rusing, is going to head to the box, chopping it up with some of her teammates. You can only wonder what that conversation sounds like right now.
She's got a comfy spot in there. One of those seats says Kadra Lucas on it, and the other one says Addie Rusing in the penalty box for the Huskers.
Kadra Lucas, man, he's got, 50 penalty minutes or something. It's hard to get track of. I know last weekend, though, he went into the weekend with 47. And I guess we won't talk about how many he came out with. But, he's got his spot in there, I hear it's a 1 bed, 1 bath, and so he's taken up, getting under the covers, especially when it's a 5-minute. I heard when it's only 2, he just kind of sits there, watches the game go by. But sometimes you get comfy, other times you can't wait to get back out there. Rusing is going to have to wait a little bit here. Doesn't come at a great time though. When you're down 4 in a shutout position, you want to be at full strength. Mueller not able to get a shot off on that breakaway. Dakota quickly wrapping things up here on that attack.
And the power play has not been, or the penalty kill has not been bad for the Huskers, but they did give up that goal last time, and here comes Dakota.
This is Mortensen, who came in on the attack. That one ripped off, hits Stevens right away.
I think got a good amount of stick, though.
Yeah. We'll see here, only a minute left on the penalty. And Ethan, here's Mortensen again. She lets one go off, a glove save by Daphnis. Ethan, we look back, I remember calling their openers against Arkansas way back in late September when their season started, and then as well as a couple of those, UW lacrosse games. For some odd reason, this team plays their best when they're down a skater. I don't know why. Maybe it's a mental thing, but I don't know. I don't think it's a strategic thing. I think they just play a little bit harder because they look up at that scoreboard and they know that, hey, we're not only are we down right now, we're also down a skater as well. So I think it's got to be all mental when it comes to that. So 5-on-4 hockey seems to be kind of Nebraska's groove.
And Daphnis covering up once again. I'll say that one for you because I know you're getting tired of that saying tonight.
Right, but I mean also you could put it like this. Perhaps they're so good at 5-on-4 hockey is because, with all due respect, they are kind of experienced with it. They've had a couple games where a lot of Huskers have head to the box, whether it's a close game situation or it's been put away well before then. But they have had a lot of penalty minutes here. Most of them by Addie Rusing, who's in the box right now, waiting to get out in about 20 seconds. But yeah, they know a thing or two about penalty kills and 5-on-4 hockey. They're going to throw that one down to the other side of the ice. The refs will throw up the safe sign. Puck will stay in play, which most likely means that that'll be it for the penalty. As there's only 5 seconds left on it. And the Huskers are doing a good job right now to just keep flipping the ice.
And it feels like they're more aggressive when they're on the penalty kill than when they're playing 5-on-5, which makes no sense. But when they're in the penalty kill, they have that one skater up pressuring the defenseman versus when they're in 5-on-5, they just have all 5 skaters in the middle of the ice and just giving away so much possession time.
It almost reminds me of like playing a box defense on basketball. We'll get back to talking about the penalty kill in just a moment as Eddie Rusing, the one who was just in the box, had a shot opportunity there. The puck stayed on her stick, though. She wasn't able to get it off in time. Mission now. Skating forwards and backwards, eventually going to come off the ice. We'll get a fresh face in here. This one back on over near Richardson. 5 minutes, 50 seconds to play. Quite some time has passed since that penalty was committed. Here's Mortensen. We've seen a lot of breakaways from her tonight. No goal, though, from her. The one that just went puck deep there. And now you can tell Rusing's fed up. Gets a hit. And then Mueller trying to get a shot off. Just a couple feet away. Rusing wants all the smoke. I think that might be a good way to put it. Fionn Devenall doing a good job just keeping her emotions in check, though, not letting it get to her head.
That's back-to-back huge hits on Devenall.
So Devenall takes 2 big hits and then gets a goal. I'm sure Rusing didn't like that one. 5-0. 5 minutes and 7 seconds remain in the third period.
Yeah, you tend to see that in hockey. When a team starts to get down, that's when they become even more physical. And you saw it right there with Rusing laying a couple of really nice hits, clean hits as well, no penalties. But then Devenall just taking them, getting back up, and then getting down on the other side of the ice and finding the back of the net in the first goal of the period as Daphnis gets scored on once again. It's 5-0. But honestly, I mean, this could be way worse if we're being completely honest here.
I mean, that one really wasn't even Daphnis' fault. You know, Devenall was really the last one to come in on the attack, so I would say the forwards in front of her just paved the way for her to get an open net shot. And now, and Ethan, I mean, another reason why she was the last forward in on the attack is because she was too busy getting up from taking the 2 big hits from Rusing on the other side of the ice. So, bit of an interesting dynamic there on that play.
And you know, they say in football, the touchdown heals all wounds. Similar thing in hockey. A goal will make you forget about that pain you were feeling.
Right. And it's as though she's off right now. We've got the second line out there, but they're actually making some switches, and so are the Huskers. Here comes Durston. She's got 1 goal so far tonight. Just going to dump that one off to the left side, though. Pressure came in from the Huskers at the right time. Dakota taking their time to get a line switch going, and the Huskers just not able to take advantage of that opportunity, though, of Dakota making some switches at their bench. Stevens getting it in closer. Mortensen able to come away with it. She still has the puck, hasn't passed it away. Eventually she's just going to dump it off into the corner. This one will come back behind Daphnis' net. Fighting for it on the far side board. Radel comes away with it. Still trying to clear it. And just intercepted there by Dakota. Again, same thing happening this time, though. The Lumberjacks will back off.
That can't feel good.
And it's another shot pass taken to the body there. Macy Wither comes in off the bench, immediately tries to break that up. The puck goes right past her, though. The Huskers now making a line switch. And Radel puts a stop to this. Wither in the area. A pass to the middle of the ice. Not able to stay on her stick. That's M. Troy.
Getting her first bit of action tonight, I think.
Yeah, she's only played 4 games so far before tonight. So this is now the 5th game she's played in. Hasn't recorded any stats. That's, again, number 10. So now back on the other end, we're coming up on the 2-minute warning. Only 30 seconds until then. And Ethan, it looks as though this one has been put away. It was put away a long time ago by Dakota. They've dominated all 3 periods, all aspects of the game, all 3 zones as well. And strangely enough, Ethan, the hardest and strongest, or the hardest that the Huskers have played so far tonight, and the strongest part of their game has been their penalty kill. That's where they have looked the best. And I don't know, there's a lot to dissect there, I think, because we might have a shot coming up right here, though, as I'm going on about penalty kills and such. But I don't know, Ethan, have you ever seen a team like this where they play their best hockey when they're down a skater?
No, not in my day, but every team's different, and we're seeing that tonight from the Husker women's team. They've been battling when they're on the penalty kill. They just seem to be more aggressive, and now when they're on 5-on-5, they're just giving up offensive zone opportunities.
Minute and a half left. Might just let this one run for a little bit. No, Daphne's going to cover it up. We get another stoppage and play. So really not much to talk about other than the Huskers came out a little slow in the first period. Dakota College did not. And folks, if anybody out there watching from North Dakota or perhaps a family from Canada, as a majority of this roster is from there, we appreciate you tuning in, watching a relative, a friend, whoever that may be, play here in Lincoln, Nebraska. That puck will go out of bounds way off into Nebraska's bench. If you're here watching locally from Lincoln or wherever you may be, just appreciate you for tuning in. We've got 70 seconds left, and Dakota's still looking for the shutout, though. The Huskers might be able to change that. However, I believe a win is too far out of reach for them right now.
Yeah, any Chicago natives tuning in, they're welcome as well.
Yeah. I hope they have a good night, Ethan. Yeah. Off on the far side, that one hits the glass and drops. 60 seconds left to go. The Huskers have it in the offensive zone. Not able to hold on to the puck, though. Here's Durston. She had a goal earlier. And not really sure what happened there, but the Huskers come away with the puck.
Yeah, I think she was confused on whether she was onside or not, and then made it even more confusing by taking it behind the blue line and bringing it back up.
I mean, she pretty much solidified it right there for herself that wasn't offsides anymore. But here's Mortensen getting tangled up with McCord, just going to dump the puck. They've got 25 seconds left to go. Really not much happening. That's about the craziest shot we've seen so far. And for the final 10 seconds, we'll see a new line come in for Dakota College at bat no. Well, that'll be the game. The final buzzer rings out. A shutout in Lincoln, Nebraska. Sully Daphnis lets 5 shots go past her. Riley Richardson with the shutout. Not a whole lot to say about her game, though, as really she didn't even really play a full game of hockey. But Ethan, I think the Huskers would definitely like to forget this one. They'd like to move on. They've got a whole lot of the season left. Something interesting to take note of, though, is that this is the final series for both teams before their winter break. Neither of them will play games in December. They will pick their seasons back up early on in January. Actually, the Huskers won't play until late January, the 23rd at that. So we'll bring you on up here, though. Folks, thank you for tuning in. And these guys will play each other tomorrow. Again, the Huskers will look to score, for the first time in this series. Player of the game, Kaleha Masson had a hat trick, played great on defense. She is the point leader, goal leader, penalty minute leader. She does it all for the Lumberjacks. And then Nebraska, they looked good. They looked diverse. It was just, strangely enough, the best part of their game, the strongest part of the game, is when they were down a skater. So that's definitely something interesting to look at. And then, I guess, Ethan, final thoughts. There's really not too much to say other than, they're going to play tomorrow at 3 p.m. back on this channel again. But
yeah, Masson with the hat trick early, and for that heading into that game tomorrow for the Huskers and the Lumberjacks, the Huskers they're going to need to focus on getting the puck out of their own zone. You cannot let them dominate the game like that. If they get upwards of 50 shots once again, it's just going to be a problem, and you could not be below 20 when they're shooting 50. You're getting tripled up almost. It's going to be a problem out there. You're never going to win any hockey games like that. So the Huskers are really going to need to focus on getting the puck out of their defensive zone, getting more opportunities, and just bring a clean slate tomorrow. Maybe try to throw just something completely different out there, because whatever they had going tonight was not working.
Right, and when you say throw something completely different out there, I think the first thing that comes to mind is Bailey Arnold, the senior goaltender. However, Sully Daphnis has played every game but one so far this season. It would not be a shocker if she was out here again tomorrow. Ethan and I are off tomorrow. We don't have the call However, still tune in again. Thank you guys for watching some women's collegiate hockey here on Nebraska News Service, and good night, Nebraska.